Welcome back, Captain Stancom here, and today we have an interesting video. We'll be looking at 3 very similar torsos that appear on 8 different clone troopers in LEGO Star Wars. And this is a part of my Know Your Clone series here on YouTube. If you want to see that complete series, I'll provide a link in the description below. And I just want to let you know that I am out in nature right now, outside my house, so if you hear some bugs or birds and stuff, just know that this is filmed outdoors. And also, I'm just going to ask that you please subscribe to this channel. I've got a lot of other videos that I've made so far, a lot in the definitive guide to every clone trooper LEGO has ever made. And I've got a lot of other great content coming out really soon, so I think you'll want to stick around and not just subscribe, but also turn on notifications, so that way you know as soon as the newest video drops. And with that being said, let's jump into our video today, which is, as I said, 3 different torsos. This one here from 2002 to 2008, this torso from 2010, and then this torso from 2013 to 2018 that appear in a total of 8 different clone troopers. So we're going to start out with this first torso, and this torso came out in 2002 originally and was featured on this original Phase 1 clone trooper from the 7163 Republic gunship from 2002 and the 4482 APPE from 2003. And then this torso also appeared on the Sky Corps clone trooper that appeared in the 7261 clone turbo tank, both in 2005 and 2008. There are 2 versions of those, and you can watch my definitive guide on the Sky Corps clone trooper or any one of the clone troopers that appear in that set to see more details about why that set had 2 versions. And then besides that clone trooper, it also appeared on the original Phase 2 clone trooper that appeared both in the clone turbo tank set, the 7261 from 2005 and 2006, as well as the 7655 clone trooper battle pack from 2007. So that's the first torso. Second is this torso, and this torso only appears on this clone trooper, and this second version of the original Phase 2 clone trooper appeared in only 1 set in 2010, and that was the 8091 Republic Swamp Speeder from 2010. And then the final torso, which appears on 4 different clone troopers, is this one here from 2013 to 2018, and it appeared on this clone trooper featured here. He appeared in 5 different sets in 2013. First, the 75000 Clone Trooper vs. Droidekas Battle Pack, the 75015 Corporate Alliance Tank Droid, the 75016 Homing Spider Droid, the 75007 Republic Assault Ship and Planet of Coruscant, and then finally at the end of the year, the 75023 Star Wars Advent Calendar. And then besides appearing on this clone trooper, it also appeared on 3 different clone troopers. The next year, the torso appeared in the Advent Calendar on this Santa clone trooper in the 75056 2014 Star Wars Advent Calendar. And then the torso was seen again in 2014 on this Phase 2 clone trooper in the 75028 clone trooper tank microfighter. And then the final appearance of this torso was in 2018, and he was featured on this clone trooper with printed legs. That's what makes him different than this clone trooper here that came out in 2013. And this trooper appeared in the 75206 Jedi and Clone Troopers Battle Pack from 2018, and 2 of these guys came in that set. So that's all the clone troopers that these torsos appear on. Now, when you look at them side by side like this, they do look different. I really can tell that there's a very significant difference. However, if you don't see them right next to each other, it can be a little hard to tell. At least someone that doesn't have, a focused eye, especially this one. I don't see how this one looks so similar to these 2, or how it gets confused. If you take a look at this one, his prints, because this is the first clone trooper LEGO has made, and then therefore this is the first torso for a clone trooper that LEGO has made. The torso is very faded, as far as not that it's faded over time, but just the printing lines are this lighter gray. They didn't really use a lot of enhanced detailing for it. And on the back, it also has a faded gray look, as opposed to, say, this clone trooper, who has much more detail with his back printing and his front printing. It just has a bunch of different grays that were used that gives it a little bit more of a 3D look rather than just the very flat look of this clone trooper. I'm not saying that this one's bad, that's just very obvious to tell the differences between these 2. If you want to look for something besides that, the biggest telltale for this 2010 clone trooper is right here, that his neck has this little gray line that goes around it, and that is not present on either this torso or the one that's a little harder to tell these 2 apart, this torso. So here, if we take the two heads off here, and actually that's funny, this is not the right head that's supposed to be on this clone trooper, but that's all right. So the head that's supposed to be on is the angry clone trooper face. This one is the more smug looking face is from the Geonosian set. But anyway, we're kind of getting off on a rabbit trail here. So we are going to refocus, and these two I can see look very similar. And their biggest reason, besides me just wanting to have a lot of videos on showing the accuracy of these sets, is that I got originally my Phase 2 clone trooper from 2014. This trooper came with this wrong torso, so now I've got an extra one of these torsos. So I eventually will probably put together another one of these second versions of this clone trooper from 2010, but still it's annoying to have that extra torso. So it does happen. People do make that mistake because if you're just not paying attention. And the goal of this whole series is to be able to provide you with the best available data so that way you can go ahead and get your accurate clone troopers. I'm really picky about having my clone troopers be exactly how they appear in the LEGO Star Wars sets as individual clone troopers. If you want to get into the detail of all of that, I have the first video on that of what makes a LEGO clone trooper, and then I'm coming out with a second video soon, just in more detail about saying why I specifically qualify certain clone troopers, while Bricklink may say that there's a lot of different versions of, say, the Phase 1 animated clone trooper. There really is only one of that white clone trooper, and I will be going into detail in that video describing more of why that is the case. But anyway, again, we're getting off on a rabbit trail here, but I just want to give you a little bit of background behind this, so hopefully I'm not boring you. But yeah, that's the biggest difference here. The back printing is very similar. I mean, if you want to have a really distinguishing factor, if you look at the back printing on the 2013 to 2018 clone trooper, there are light gray lines that go around the outside of his, getting my finger in the way, around the outside of his backpack print, as opposed to there are no lines that like kind of trace around the outside, and then they're darker on the 2010 trooper, as opposed to the 2013 to 2018 torso doesn't have that. There are subtle differences as well, such as the cartridges here on his belt are not filled in on the 2013 to 2018 model, as opposed to the 2010 version having those filled in. So again, you know, subtle differences if you want to go into those details. The best thing of all, though, is that line around the neck. It's got a line around the neck of these torsos that look similar, then it's from 2010. If it's not, then it is from 2013 to 2018. And then again, we'll just compare all three of them really close to each other. I really do not see really how you could get these two confused unless you're really not paying attention. But these are all three of them really close together, and hey, you may have difficulty telling them apart, so I don't want to knock you for that. My wife would not be able to tell any of the torsos apart unless it has a different color on it. My wife's like, they're all just the exact same. So she sometimes sees the Phase 1 and Phase 2 clone troopers as the same. So, you know, there's some people that you know, see these torsos and are like, oh, there's no difference. And if you're like that, you're like, hey, there's no point in this, and that's fine. I just want to have a video out showing how you can tell the differences in these torsos. So I'm actually going to compare all the clone troopers here right now. So just give me a second as I shuffle these guys around, and then we will jump right back into it in just a second. And here we go, all 8 clone troopers that sport these 3 similar torsos. So we're going to start over here on the left. These 3 clone troopers here have the original torso, and that torso number from Bricklink is 973PB0117C01. I know that's a mouthful, so I will provide that item number in the descriptions. That way, in case you want to look that up in Bricklink, you can. And then here we have the only clone trooper that has that second version of the torso. And I also like to note that if you see, that line around his neck is covered up because his helmet just kind of sinks down below that point. So if you just take it off, you can see that that line is there. So it's always good if you're going to compare torsos to remove the helmet. That's just something good also for to know on what note you might want him to take off that helmet. So that way you can see that neck and just guarantee that that is the right torso. So there you go, that is the second torso, and that item number is 973PB0635C01. Again, I'll have that in the description. And then finally, we have these last 4 clone troopers. These all have that last third version of the torso that looks very similar. That torso item number is 973PB1286C01. So again, that'll be in the description. And there you go, you have all 8 of the clone troopers here, so that way you want to be able to tell them apart, see which torso that you have. Goal is just, as I've said a couple times now, to make sure that, you can have the right torso for your clone troopers, so you can have the clone troopers in your collection that are accurate to what actually came out from LEGO, and just not a hodgepodge of, just random clone trooper parts that you just didn't realize were incorrectly organized. So, and in case you're wondering, this is from the Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull set. I don't remember the set number, I just saying this for fun. I got that set back when it came out and subsequently took it apart because it's kind of not one of my favorite sets. So I love this base plate that it has for it though. So it's just fun to use it for stuff like this. And then in case you're also wondering, yes, I have a rubber box under here that I'm using to prop this up. So yeah, we have all types of stuff that we're using today. But anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope you really found it helpful for your torsos. And if you did, I'd really appreciate a like. And like I said, I got a lot of other really cool content coming out. So I suggest that you subscribe and turn on notifications if you're so inclined. And that's going to do it for today. So until next time, this is Captain Stancom signing out.